Matty lives in a small village with his poor, widowed mother. One day he learns that there will be a fair in the neighboring town Döbrögi. He decides to go and sell his mother's 20 geese. At the fair, Döbrögi's landlord, Döbrögi, wants to buy Matty's geese at half price. Since the boy refuses to sell them at such a low price, Döbrögi confiscates the geese. Then he takes Matty to his castle, where he punishes him for his disobedience with 50 lashes. Matty threatens to repay Döbrögi 3 times for his wrongdoing. Before he is let go, he is beaten once again for his impudence. With no geese or money, Matty doesn't dare go home. Instead, he decides to go out into the world. He travels to many countries and learns several languages and trades. Years later, he returns to Döbrögi to take revenge on Döbrögi. When he arrives, he learns that the landlord is undertaking renovations to his castle. He disguises himself as master architect and offers him his services. He claims to be a famous Italian carpenter. Döbrögi likes the foreign maestro and hires him. Matty recommends using some sturdy oak for the roof. They go to the manorial forests to look for suitable wood. Matty points out a beautiful thick oak tree and asks Döbrögi to measure it. When Döbrögi puts his arms around the tree, he quickly ties his hands together and gags his mouth with moss. Then he reveals his true identity and gives him his first 50 lashes. He then takes the price of the geese out of his pocket and disappears. Döbrögi sends his men to look for Matty, but they cannot find him anywhere. Suffering from the aftermath of the beating and frustrated over Matty's disappearance, he is bedridden for weeks. In the meantime, Matty visits an old doctor and asks him to teach him the Latin names and uses of the most common medicinal herbs. Then, with the pretext that he is going to attend a carnival, he asks the doctor for his medical gown and wig, dresses up as a physician, and goes to the landlord's castle. There he introduces himself as a German doctor. The servants immediately take him to Döbrögi's bedside, who does not recognize the disguised doctor. Matty examines the patient, then orders him a hot bath and sends all the servants to the field to collect medicinal herbs. While everyone is out and about to look for herbs, the fake doctor is left alone with his patient. He gags his mouth with a handkerchief, reveals his true identity, and gives him his second 50 lashes with his cane. He then takes the price of the geese a second time and escapes. Döbrögi is really very sick now. Reputed doctors are being called in from all over the country and a warrant is issued to arrest Matty. But the shrewd young man is nowhere to be found. With time, Döbrögi begins to recover, but he is so nervous that he panics even at the mere sight of a goose feather. He orders all the geese in the area to be locked up. He lives in constant fear that Mattie the Goose Boy will reappear one day. Soldiers with spears guard his safety day and night. Time goes by and another fair is coming up in Döbrögi. Since it is an important annual event for the town with vendors from all over the country, Döbrögi has no choice but to attend. Matty knows this and decides to collect the last installment. He goes to the fair and sees a boy selling a fine horse. The lad asks a high price for it because he claims that it is the fastest horse in the country. Matty is willing to pay the high price if the boy proves that it is indeed the fastest horse. His tasks would be to trot over to Döbrögi, call out, "I am Mattie the Goose Boy," and gallop off without being caught. The boy agrees and Matty gives him 10 gold coins as a deposit. Once on his horse, the lad jumps before Döbrögi's carriage and shouts from the top of his lungs that he is Mattie the Goose Boy. Döbrögi, panic-stricken, sends off all his guards to pursue him. He even orders the coachman to untie his horses and also chase the false Matty. When the landlord is left alone, the real Matty appears. Right there in public, he gives Döbrögi the last 50 lashes. Then he takes the third installment out of his pocket. In taking his leave, he reassures Döbrögi that he will not return anymore as he has been repaid all that was due to him. Then he speeds away on his horse, never to be seen again. Döbrögi's men soon return and report that their mission to catch Matty has been unsuccessful. Döbrögi dismisses his bodyguards. He is no longer afraid and he has learned his lesson too. He will no longer torment the villagers and will treat his serfs with humility and justice.